I still remember the beginning of my journey. I was down about 5 or 10 pounds and me and my friends were going out to Texas Roadhouse. I use Texas Roadhouse as an example a lot in my videos because that's just the spot me and my boys would always go to. But for context, I was like seriously dieting for about a week or two and I was down about 5 pounds. And this was the first time around where I really understood what calorie counting was. And I was excited to try going out for the first time and work it into my calories so I could still make progress. You'd think everything would be fine. So me and my boys go, I get like a steak, I get some rolls, but it's all accounted for into my calories. So I'm not going over my goal. And I still distinctly remember a conversation I had with one of my friends and how they told me like that wasn't gonna work. That like to lose weight, you have to cut carbs, you have to eat really low, the calories don't count. But I was so stuck in my mind that yes, it's scientifically calories in, calories out, it has to work. And that was a Sunday night. So the next day, Monday morning, I hopped on the scale. And I kid you not, I had gained 4 pounds back. And I feel like only people who've tried to lose weight will really understand what I'm talking about. But when you see your progress get erased, it makes you just want to throw the whole thing out the window. I decided, okay, I messed up all my progress, not gonna try losing weight, just gonna go back to binge eating. And I ended up eating probably like 4,000, 5,000 calories the rest of the week. And this type of cycle would happen over and over to me and I couldn't figure out why because all the research said calories in, calories out, but every single time I would see the scale go up when I wanted to eat out. So the conclusion I came to was, okay, I can't eat out with my friends. I have to eat only meal prep, only chicken and rice. That's the way calories in, calories out works. There is one piece of information I was missing that would have made everything so much easier and it eventually did. I'm not like being hyperbolic, I'm not over exaggerating. There's legit one piece of information that changed my journey. And it's the fact that your weight won't always show your progress. The thing I was missing on those Mondays or the days I'd weigh myself after going out with my friends was I didn't understand the concept of you can gain weight but not gain fat and not undo any progress. And you're probably wondering like, well, Nick, the whole goal is to lose weight. How do you gain weight without gaining it? That's where things like water and food weight come into play. So specifically for my example, Texas Roadhouse is known for using a ton of sodium in their food, like most restaurants. So I was completely oblivious to the fact that every meal I had would be the right amount of calories, but I was adding 4,000, 5,000 milligrams of sodium, which if you don't know, that's a ton of sodium. That combined with any of the food that's still in your system is gonna make your weight go up 2, 3, even 4 pounds. And if I would have seen the scale do that and not gotten discouraged and tried weighing myself in a day or 2 days after sticking to the normal plan, I would have seen the weight drop back all the way down. And that's why the title of this video is How the Scale Stopped Me from Being Skinny, is I was so obsessed with seeing that number drop that anytime it went up, I would give up. And these types of like little things, or I don't wanna call it like a trick, but it's like a little tip that a lot of people don't tell you, makes a big difference. Because if you're seeing your progress get erased, that is the most demotivating thing that can happen in your weight loss journey. And once you understand the science more, it becomes a lot easier to understand that it is very hard to undo your progress. To gain a pound, it's about 3,500 calories on top of your maintenance. So for me to have gained 4 pounds in a day, that's over 12,000 calories over my maintenance, which basically isn't physically possible. That's why I always tell people the more you can understand the mechanisms of actually losing weight, the easier it will become to actually do it. So when it comes to the scale and weighing myself, I kind of have a few rules that I follow. Again, it's not gonna apply the same for everyone, but if you wanna take the ones I use, they definitely can be helpful. Number one, I don't weigh myself between Friday and Tuesday because those are the days where I'm most likely to go out with my friends or go to a restaurant. Even if I don't go over my calories, I'm most likely ingesting a lot more sodium than I'm used to. That's gonna make my body hold on to a lot more water, hold on to food weight. And what I wanna say with that specifically is that's not bad. A lot of people think it's bad, like, oh, I saw the scale go up, I'm gonna lose progress. You are losing 0 progress by gaining water weight, gaining sodium weight. It is just gonna disappear after a few days of you hydrating better, you lowering your sodium intake, and you can still make progress while your weight goes up because of the water weight. So there's nothing to worry about there. Like if you're trying to eliminate sodium because of that problem, it's not really a problem. You're avoiding it for no reason and you're making your diet only harder to stick to. So that's number one. I don't weigh in Friday to Tuesday just to avoid that because I just don't want to deal with it mentally, because that's the thing I will say. I will be honest with you guys. Like, it's disheartening to see your weight go up when you're trying to lose it. Because no matter what you want to say, like you can tell yourself one thing, but your brain's going to think something. Like I can tell myself it's just water weight, but my brain's always gonna think in the back of my mind, like, shoot, our weight just went up. We gotta go do cardio or we gotta cut the calories, which just isn't what you wanna do. It's the complete opposite. Number two is just don't weigh yourself after a cheat meal in general. And I'm talking like 2-3 days. That's how long it can take for you to drop sodium and water weight. I hate the idea where people are like, okay, let me see how much I gained from this cheat meal. Because again, the reality of you gaining any weight from a singular cheat meal or even a cheat day is pretty low. And again, I'm not saying it's not possible because I've definitely done it myself. Like, I can eat 3,500 over my maintenance. Like, it's definitely possible for me. But again, there's no use in you weighing yourself right after that because it's only gonna be higher than whatever happened. That's why I'm really not a big fan of weighing yourself every day, just because of how big fluctuations can be. At most, I really only think you should weigh yourself once a week. That's what I do. That's what I recommend for almost all my clients is once per week is kind of the sweet spot of like, you're getting a lot of data, but you're not like overbearing your mind of like, okay, you're up a pound this, you're down 2 now, up 3. It just gets too much. But that kind of brings me to another point I have is you still want to be tracking things to make sure you're progressing. And what I mean by that is you can't only rely on the scale. The scale is only one metric, which can sometimes be off. Other metrics you can track are like progress pictures, body fat percentage, your strength in exercises, how your clothes are fitting, those types of things. Once you combine all of those, it's way easier to accurately track your progress. Because say 3 of them are going good this week and 1's bad, that gives you the data to say, okay, I am making progress. The scale was just a little off this week. And again, all of this stuff is, there's gotta be a balance to it. Like if your scale goes up like 10, 15 pounds, you probably gained some weight, maybe not 10, we probably gained like 5. So there is gonna be a reality between like delusion and what's actually happening. But I feel like this nuance is what people don't like to mention in weight loss. They like to make it black and white where it's like, okay, if your scale went up, you're a failure. Scale went down, you're doing amazing, which again, your scale can still go down. You can be doing the wrong things. You could be losing muscle. So there is no metric that's gonna be the correct or right answer no matter what. This is kind of like a secondary tangent on that topic, but the scale shouldn't be your end goal. This thing I struggled with a lot. I had like a weight goal in mind. Like I started at 245. My goal was around like 175. I'm at 175 right now and I'm not the dream physique I've imagined, which just is the reality of it. Like you don't know how much muscle mass you're gonna have, how much strength you're gonna be at, what you're gonna look like. That's why for all my clients and for me, I set a visual goal. Okay, like what body fat percentage do you wanna be like? What do you wanna look like? And again, don't take this the wrong way and be like, oh, he only cares about looks. No, I wanna be healthy, I wanna train for strength, but one of my goals is looking a certain way. I wanna look lean. I wanna have arm definition, wanna have abs that I've never had before. That type of stuff. And I feel like those goals are way more important than some random number on the scale because the scale number can always be lower. That's what people don't realize. Like you're never gonna hit a number and be like, yo, I'm at 175, I'm the GOAT, I feel amazing. It's always gonna be the secondary things of how your life feels, your health. Can you help your family carry that big box inside that they need? Can you take your shirt off at the beach and feel like you're actually proud of the physique you have? That type of stuff is gonna matter exponentially more than any like silly number on a scale. Another thing I will know about the scale and like sodium and water weight is if you eat out more often, you're not gonna see as big of a fluctuation as someone who say meal preps 5 days or 6 days then eats out once. You're probably gonna have a higher sodium baseline, which is totally fine. So you might not see as much of an effect. And this all goes back to like, you need to have a reason you're losing the weight. And when I say a reason, I don't mean some existential like, oh, your girlfriend broke up with you or like you couldn't carry your family out of a burning building. Like there are people who have that. Like there is that 1% like case where you have some crazy reason which will motivate you. But I was just a guy who wanted to look better, feel better, and be more confident. Like I didn't have some crazy reason, but you need a reason. You need a certain goal to be reaching for so you can get there and not some random number. And again, I don't want you to take this video as me hating on like weighing yourself because it's always a balance. Like it is good for tracking your progress, but it shouldn't be the end all be all. Because the worst mindset you want to get into is, okay, I want to hit this number and you get there and then you realize like, wait, this isn't what I expected. This didn't really bring me any satisfaction. I'm just gonna gain the weight back. And that's happened to me. Like I've lost 20, 30 pounds in the past and gained it back because I didn't have the right goal in mind. That's where you start to beat kind of like the fad diet and actually get towards the sustainability when you have a goal that is actually realistic. Like, okay, I wanna look better, feel better, be more confident. The main goal of this video was kind of just tell you guys a tip that I wish I had. Would have saved me a ton of time because again, I thought I was resetting my progress every single time I went out to eat and that ruined my perspective on like calories in, calories out, which is the truth. If anyone tells you it's not, block them. Like, I mean, they're just wrong. So if you take anything from this video, it's just don't let the scale be the end all be all of everything in your journey, and be smart when you're weighing yourself. Don't destroy your own mentality by weighing yourself right after a cheat meal or right after you go out with your friends to a restaurant. It's never going to end well. It may seem like a small tip, but go ahead and try it out in the next few weeks, see what happens, and I guarantee you're gonna notice a difference in the way you mentally feel about the journey.